राधा कृष्ण पादान् सह गणललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेष्व भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। हरे कृष्ण। We are going to the next chapter today, the Shuddha Bhakti Chintamani, chapter number 22. What happens to those who hear the message of Krishna consciousness without faith? Of course, there may be people who may come to temple and may hear something without faith. Still, there is some benefit. Some benefit they will get. And eventually they will come to hear with faith. So qualifications to hear Krishna's pastimes, 10 chapters. In those chapters we are doing the third one now. Hearing without faith. It has 3 parts. Convincing the faithless to hear. Book distribution is for everyone and somehow the faithless should hear. So there are 11 chapters in this qualification to hear Krishna's pastimes. We are in the third one now. Okay. Please read it.
Introduction. 3 types of people come in contact with Krishna consciousness. First, the faithless contact devotional service by the Lord's arrangement. Second, those with impure faith contact it through ritualistic endeavors. Third, those with pure faith systematically cultivate devotional service.
Yeah. Krishna very mercifully has appeared in this world in varieties of forms. There is one verse which says, Maya Mugda Jivarna Hi Swata Krishna Jnana Atayeva Kripa Koila Krishna Veda Puran. So Lord has given the Puranas, the Vedic literature, out of His own mercy, because the covered jiva cannot recognize anything on his own. Maya Mugda Jiva Nahi Swata Krishna Jnana. He cannot understand. So Krishna is making Himself available even to the faithless. Faithless also come in contact. For example, who is a faithless? When they hear the pastimes of Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Narsimha, all these different pastimes, they will think these are all phantasmagoria. They will think these are all imaginative stories. But they will be very eagerly watching Batman, Spider-Man, He-Man, as if it's a solemn truth for hours together. And they'll be sitting in front of the TV watching cricket all day, as if it is something very sublime, very important. But when it comes to hearing the pastimes of the Lord, they will imagine falsely that they will think these pastimes are some phantasmagoria, because they can't develop faith. That's the problem. And also, one of the reasons they feel like this is when they hear these pastimes, many of the achintya shaktis of the Lord are mentioned. Achintye kalavo bhava natam starkena yojayet prakritibhya param yacha tat achintyasya lakshanam. What is achintya is defined here in this verse. Achintya means there are things which we can comprehend with our brain. There are things which cannot be comprehended by our brain, which are beyond us. For example, how will a child find out who is my father without asking the mother? If a son says, I don't trust my mother, then he can never know his father. Similarly, if we don't trust the Vedas, we will never come to know the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We will never come to know. Therefore, you will find in the modern times people who are skeptical and who don't trust the Vedic wisdom. Some of them say that this must be written by some rishis, munis in the forest, just to keep some law and order in the world. There are people who say like that. Because they had no other thing to do, so they must have written this one. Why should we take it seriously? There are people like that. And there are other people, who think that maybe these are Vedic literatures and they have something valuable to give, but they only selectively accept some portions. Like there are people who take Bhagavad Gita and talk dry knowledge about soul, and soul and realization of self-realization without bringing Krishna and Arjuna at all. One word Krishna will not come out of their mouth, by mistake also. You will see that. Very dry shishka jnana, dry knowledge they will give from Bhagavad Gita. And there are people who have lot of faith in Shad Darshan. There was an old man, we used to go, one Vaidyaji, we used to go. He is already 82. And he would go for Shad Darshan conference for 3 days. The Shad Darshan, if you see, except the Vedanta given by Veda Vyas, all the other Shad Darshan are atheistic. If you see, you take atheistic Sankhya, you take Jaiminist philosophy, you take Kannada, all of them you will find they're atheistic, except only one, which is Veda Vyasa's Vedanta Sutra. Then why do these people show interest? Jai Shri Radheshyam ki. So these are faithless people. Actually, they may have some kind of faith in the great Sanskrit wisdom written exhaustively. Some people are reading Ashtavakra Gita. So there are people, similarly Yoga Vashishta. If you read this kind of books, people come and ask also, do you have these books? Because people want some kind of titillation for their intelligence without coming to the absolute truth. The faithless people, they may be totally faithless or they may have faith in something which is other than Krishna. So Therefore, that's verse 4.40. Agnyascha ashraddhadanascha samshayatma vinashyati nayam lokosti naparo nasukam samshayatmanah. In this verse, three people are said. Agnya means ignorant like animals. Ashraddhadana means knowledgeable but faithless. And samshayatma means he is knowledgeable, he also has faith in the scriptures in general, but he lacks faith in Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He will accept other things in scripture. You know, when Patel ji was arguing with Prabhupada, he used to quote many short statements of Abheda Vakyas from the scriptures. Yeah. When he would quote, and immediately Prabhupada would give a counter argument to that whenever he would quote. Because Abheda Vakyas will make you think that Jiva and God are one. Sometimes when he would quote like that, and Prabhupada would immediately defeat. Like once he was telling, one who knows Brahman is himself Brahman. Like this kind of statement. Yo Brahma Vadati, Brahmeti, like this kind of statements he would quote. So then Prabhupada gave him a very simple argument. He told him, look at this tree. He showed a flower. What is this flower? What is this? So Patel immediately understood. Prabhupada is going to distinguish all the parts of the tree. Prabhupada said, this is flower, and this is fruit, this is branch, this is called stem, this is called root. But the whole thing is called as a tree. So Parabrahman is also like that. Prabhupada said, Parabrahman is the source of everyone and everything. Janmadhyasya yataha. You say, no? He is the source of everything. At the same time, there are also individual parts which are parts and parcels. So, taking the example, Prabhupada showed the flower and asked, what is this? Immediately Patel said, this is tree, he said. Do you call it tree? You call the flower as tree, you call the fruit as tree. So, therefore, these faithless people, but Sripad Ramanujacharya's commentary, he says these three people in a slightly different manner, very interesting manner. He says, Agnyascha Ashraddhadana Samshayatma means, Agnyascha means one who never went to a guru and took shelter of him and never got Upadesh. Na Upadishtam, he says. He never got Upadesh from guru at all. He was leading whole life musically himself, independently. That is called Agnya, he says. And Ashraddhadana means he got instructions but never made effort to fulfill those instructions. Like that he says. Agnyascha Ashraddhadana. Samshayatma means he has no faith in anything, like that he says. Anyway, Vishwanath Thakur and Sripad Ramacharya both have given explanations of these three words which I told you just now. But in general, this verse talks about faithless people. In general, the first category. The faithless people contact devotion service by the Lord's arrangement. Now, some of you may have a question. If they don't have faith, then why should Lord bring them in contact with something that requires faith? What is the need? That can only be called as compassion of the Lord. If somebody is faithless, then why should he be brought? Just like there is a story, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, there was one fellow, Kamini Kanchan or somebody, his name is Kamini Kanchan, I think, yeah. So this fellow was only fond of money. Yeah. He was not interested in anything else. Never interested in God or going to temple or religion or anything like that. But he had a very great devotee friend who always used to go to, temple, bow down to Krishna, worship Krishna, chant Krishna's names and everything. So this fellow somehow wanted to bring his friend to Krishna consciousness. One day he told him that, there is a very big mela going on in Mayapur. Would you like to join? So the friend heard about, big mela, big fair, there'll be fun, just like people want to go for party. Like that he thought, okay, chalo, I am coming, he said. But his devotee friend's actual intention was what? Once he comes to that mela in Mayapur, he will cross the Ganga and go to other side where there is big Mayapur temple. And there's birthplace of Lord Chaitanya. He can show that. That was his intention. So when he brought him to mela, they went around. Even the devotee friend also went with him just to encourage him. He went with him. Then when they were about to leave, he said, hey, just across this, river, there is a birthplace of Lord Chaitanya. And there's a big temple there. Thousands of people come there. So we have come all the way here. Would you like to come? He said. A friend said, no. I'm very tired. Now we have to go home. He was saying. And the friend insisted, just a few minutes, just 5 minutes. It won't take much time. Then this friend said, no, the Ganga is going on. Ganga will be very deep. I won't come. But in the place where they were standing, from there Ganga was very shallow. It was only like knee deep only. So his friend told him, it's just knee deep. But he comes, oh no, water will be very cold. I won't come. So he's giving excuse like this. And he's escaping. So once a person has decided not to go to Krishna, then he will not want to come to Krishna. There are many people, husband and wives come to temple. The husband will stand at the gate and let the wife go take darshan and come. There was one devotee like that in Camp Temple he was doing. So, and the wife was wondering how to make him a devotee. So she was wondering. So, then one day one of the wives told the husband, she was inside the temple, she made a phone call to him and said, please come inside. There is some urgent thing I will tell you. Then of course the husband came inside and he was given Mahaprasad plate, big plate. That's the first time he ate the plate, prasadam plate. And he said, oh, I never knew you get such nice food here. The next time onwards he started coming inside. And directly we'll go and eat the prasadam and go back. And then later on she introduced him to one devotee and then he picked up. So the faithless people may be faithless, but still Krishna is merciful. That's the meaning of a compassionate father, correct? No? He's thinking how to feed. There are people who come to Govindas and go away. And then when they come to Govindas, they hear the ringing of the bell because prasadam goes in, purification happens, then the bell ringing also is heard. And when they see the bell, then they look at the Gopuram. Oh, there's a beautiful Gopuram. Then the desire develops. Let me just go and see. Then they may come. They may come inside, take darshan. That's how people grow gradually. Therefore, the Lord knows the jivas may not come in one lifetime. They may take many lifetimes. But He is willing to provide them the facility. Read the second one.
Those with impure faith contact it through ritualistic endeavors.
Yeah. So that will be explained. Those whose faith is not pure, which means motivated faith. That means they may, it's called kamya karma, we call it. Kamya karma means sometimes a husband wife may come to temple and together offer a lamb to the Lord. There was one couple who was coming the whole, a month, morning and evening, coming and together offering lamb because they were desiring a child. So some people do kamya karma. Some people want bountiful harvest because their rains didn't come last year. So this year we want rains. So they may perform some puja for the Lord. So these are all motivated worship. Some expectation they have. People even keep vratas and all. You may be knowing people fast on Tuesday or Friday and days like that. The whole idea is they have some motivation in mind. To fulfill that motivation, they will do it. Once that motivation is fulfilled, they'll stop it after that. So it's a time-bound, self-serving worship. But Krishna consciousness is timeless worship. You worship whole life and beyond also. For how long? Mama janmani janmani ishwari bhavatat bhakti ahetuki. It's timeless worship and unmotivated worship. Ahetuki. Correct, no? So, therefore, impure faith is not only expectation of something material, it also could be liberation from suffering, like moksha. Or it could be some aspiration for siddhis and such kinds of things also. I read the third one.
Those with pure faith systematically cultivate devotional service.
Krishnanushilanam. Anukulyena Krishnanushilanam bhaktiruttama. Those with pure faith. Those with pure faith means those who have come only for attaining Krishna. So the Kanishta, Madhyama, Uttama Adhikaris, if you see those three of them, even the Kanishta Adhikari is one with a pure faith. Because Kanishta Adhikari's faith is, Krishna is my master. Krishna is my be-all and end-all. And I want to attain Krishna. But he doesn't have a very great adhikar. This Kanishta Adhikari means he has a little knowledge of Krishna. He has Komala Shraddha. And he does not know about the value of devotees. He does not know Shastra so much. His logic and reason and understanding and depth of the scriptures is not much. So, but he still has the faith. Kanishta Adhikari is glorified. It will come later. We'll talk more about it. Yeah.
The three types of faithless people. In the category of the faithless are persons, number one, whose goal in life is sense gratification, karmis. Number 2, those who strive for liberation from material suffering, jnanis. Third, those who aspire for mystic perfections, yogis. These three groups, though couched in Vedic terms, are universally found in any human society.
Yeah. Why they are called faithless? Because these three are people who don't have even an iota of Mishran of Bhakti. They don't have that kind of people. But once you have Jnana Mishra Bhakti, Yoga Mishra Bhakti, Karma Mishra Bhakti, then they are not called faithless. It's called impure. It's called impure faith. These three people are completely raw. Karmi, Jnani, Yogi, they are completely selfish people. Because if you ask a Karmi, I've shown in the next picture, I'll show you. See here, Karmi in the top. They work hard to make money, that's all. Work hard and enjoy. They are called Karmis. And Jnanis means they want peace of mind, relief from suffering. That kind of people. And some of the Jnanis are even natural worshippers, naturalists. They just think that nowadays many educated people say that there are certain agents in nature which give you a lot of energy, like the sunlight, like the wind, like the contact with the earth. Similarly, contact with the water in the swimming pool or the ocean. These are all nature's energy-giving elements. So you contact with them and they go and sit like this. And not that they have any devotion to God or anything. People do breathing exercises. People sit in some mudra. Looks like a devotee, but actually they don't have any faith in any God or anything. Yeah. Similarly, yogis, all kinds of postures they will stand like Dhruva Maharaj, you see. But basically they do all the yogic exercises only for good health. Some people have disease, they want to cure the disease. Some people don't have disease, but they want to have a healthier body to enjoy more sense gratification. And they want to increase their Ayush, life span. So they think if I keep myself healthy and fit, morning you see many people going for brisk walk, jogging, and some people go to gym. Some people, people do that. So some people get into, their eating habits due to that they have obesity or something. They want to have weight loss. They do yogasanas. So these are called modern day karmis, jnanis, yogis. These are the people who have absolutely no spiritual goal, absolutely no devotion to God. In fact, there is one book Prabhupada says called written by one Chatterjee, Role of God in Yoga. That's the name of the book. And Prabhupada is quoting this where? In Mishra's Yoga Society, when he was given a chance to speak to the yoga students, to them he quoted. He said, role of God in yoga. In that book, Mr. Chatterjee says, and he has presented this book very authentically, with lot of bibliography, references from all over the world, and Patanjali Yoga Sutra. So that author says, in the path of Patanjali Yoga Sutra given, Patanjali clearly says, there is the ultimate God, and he has a form, and his form is Vishnumurti. So he has quoted in that book. He says that, and that's a form in which a yogi should meditate upon. When he especially goes beyond Yama, Niyama, Pranayama, Asana, Pratyahara, when he goes to the Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi, that's the form in which he is supposed to meditate. So Prabhupada says, Chatterjee quotes in his book, that without accepting that God, the word yoga has no meaning, because the word yoga comes from the word yuj. Yuj means to connect with that God. If your yogasana practice does not connect you to God, then your yogasana practice is bogus. So Prabhupada quotes that book and says, but modern day, many of the yoga institutions, they don't talk about God, and some of them have no faith in God also. But they take advantage of the yoga asanas to keep good health or enhance their sense gratification. Correct, no? Same way, when my spiritual master met Mr. Iyengar in Pune, he told him, Iyengarji, you have propagated yoga all over the world. You are internationally popular. Iyengarji said, still I am not very happy, he said, because I come from the lineage of Sripad Ramanujacharya. He is our Acharya whom we worship at home. And I have not, I feel that many of my students are teaching yoga all over the world. But I would like to see in all the centers the ultimate truth presented. So I am planning to write a book called as Core Yoga. So he said in that book, I'll clearly mention the goal of Patanjali Yoga Sutras. Ultimately, they say that God is ultimate and one has to meditate upon him as Vishnumurti, form in the heart. So, and I'm also going to quote references from Srimad Ramanujacharya, which match with Patanjali's quotes. He has written the book now. When I met him, when I met with my spiritual master, he was almost 90 years at that time. Then when he was 95, he passed away. So, fortunately, that book has come out now. Now that book is going all over the world now, Core Yoga, if you see. I have a copy also. So, why I told you that? Modern day, many yogis are not aware of this. So that's why it's mundane completely. Therefore, if you see here, they're called three types of faithless people. Karmis, jnanis. Jnanis want freedom from suffering and yogis want some powers and they hardly care about God. The reference point is I, me, mine. Like karmis want sense gratification for whom? For themselves. And jnanis want freedom from suffering for whom? For themselves. And yogis want yogic powers for whom? So who is the reference point? Themselves. You can see that. Then where is God? God has no role there. That means God is one of the items I may use for getting what I want. Correct, no? Then it's business with God, that's all. Yeah, please read it.
Even today in the West developed countries, people's goals correlate with the aims of these three groups mentioned in Vedic literature. Krishna asserts that perfect mystics and seekers of liberation are rare, and that tallies with the fact that today the vast majority of people are fruitive workers. In short,
that means even out of the three, karmis, jnanis, yogis, who are rare, Krishna says? Jnanis and yogis are rare. Most people are karmis. 99.9% of the population. They simply are hard-working, fruitive workers. They just work hard and make money. I heard in Bombay, there are people having jobs which pay them just the money enough to live in a chal, and eat food 2 times a day. That's all. That much money only they get. And all day they spend working hard. Like you see like this, early morning, 5 o'clock they go, night they come at 10 o'clock. And all day they work. And they delight in such work. He says, no, nayam deho dehabajam riloke kashtan kaman argati vidubujam ye tapo divyam putraka yena sattvam shuddhyate asmat brahmaswakyam tu ananta. He says that a human body is given to you. Do not waste the valuable human body. Human body is the only body in which you can attain self-realization. It's like a Mercedes-Benz to be used in a smooth road, not like a tractor to be used in a plowing field. But that's what people do with the human body. He says, tapo divyam. So there are 2 types of austerities. Mundane austerity, divine austerity. Mundane austerity was done by Hiranyakashipu and by Bhasmasura. These kind of people, like Ravana. All these people are materialists. They did austerity, but as soon as the demigod came, they demanded some benedictions by which they can enjoy their senses, enjoy their mind, enjoy their ego. Such kinds of people, mundane austerities. And divine austerity was done by Dhruva Maharaj, by which he got purified. You will see that. Prachetas did divine austerity, because when Lord Vishnu appeared, they didn't ask for anything mundane. So there is severe austerity in Prachetas or Dhruva Maharaj, but their goal was to see Lord Vishnu and become blessed by Lord Vishnu and get purified. So even though Dhruva Maharaj had a mixed goal, eventually became purified because he aspired for Vishnu, not for any demigod. So tapo divyam means sattvam shuddhyate. It purifies the heart. Yeah. And then it gives everlasting Brahma Saukyam, means the transcendental bliss. So devotees attain that. Read the last one.
In short, people with a serious interest in spiritual life are uncommon.
People, spiritual life would be the last thing they may want to do. They have so many other busy activities to do. Therefore, he says, Shrotavyadini Rajendra, Nrinam Santi, Sahasrashaka is apashyatam atmatattvam griheshu grihamedina. He says, Shukadeva Goswami, if you see, he says that apashyatam atmatattvam. People are not able to see the living spark in the material body. Therefore, they see body as everything. Therefore, they are decorating the, Prabhupada used to say, decorating the dead body civilization. Decorating dead body civilization means, how many type of shoes, how many type of pants, how many type of belts, how many types of watches, how many types of hairstyles, how many types of mustache styles and beard styles, how many types of lotions, all kinds of lotions. Everything people are focusing on except Atma Tattva. Nobody is asking, how is this body running? Why the person's body dies? Who am I? Where am I supposed to go? So, therefore, even such people are rare. So, those who know that, they only think about liberation. Yeah.
3 types of semblance of faith.
Yeah.
Among those with a serious interest, only a few are fortunate enough to have a semblance of faith in Krishna. That is, faith mixed with desires for material improvement, sakam, salvation, mokshakam, or mystic perfection, yogakam. As stated above, fruitive devotees are happy to chant Hare Krishna and lead a pious life. Still cling to the hope that Krishna will fulfill their material desires. These persons are sakam bhaktas.
Yeah. I've shown a picture. Isn't it? Of course, they may occasionally worship Krishna on a festival day or some occasion. Otherwise, they go to a movie, they go to a party, their life goes on. They have so many material aspirations, ambitions. When they meet the sadhus, they'll say, please bless my son can go abroad. And they will seek such blessings. The Prabhupada had many people coming to him like that. The many people, sir, I'm going to start a new business, please help me, that my business may boom. Okay, let your business boom, but what is your plan for giving to Krishna? So if you say, this is the 5th business I am starting. So did you, our His Grace Radha Giridhar Prabhu used to say in Artha Forum meetings, he would say, some of our friends here have many businesses they are running. How many you are running? 4 businesses. How many? 6 businesses. How many? 2 businesses. So he would say, we don't want a single penny from you, from the business that you are doing. You start one more business, and with that business give 100% of the profits to Krishna. Like it is. Anyway, you are already running 5, run one more. And the 100% profit out to Krishna. Then you are a devotee. So he used to say like that. And many would clap hands after hearing this. So, in this way, when people are pious, they think that God is our Father. Why can't we go to our Father and accept whatever we want? One Christian was asking Prabhupada, Swamiji, in Bible it is said, God created this world and God created man, and He has created this world for benefit of His own children. So you also agree that we are all God's children. So is it not our duty to enjoy this world? He was asking, what's wrong in enjoying this world, taking all the things? Prabhupada said, that's all right, but are you behaving like son of God? God says, don't covet another man's wife. You are chasing after another man's wife. God says, thou shalt not kill. You are killing poor creatures. So you are breaking God's law, then how can you claim to be son of God? And those who are son of God, they are getting their prasadam. For God has arranged prasad for them, accomplished for them, everything. So if you are true son of God, then you are allowed to take your quota. But if you are not a true son of God, you are actually breaking God's laws, then you are anti-God. Then that fellow understood, oh, right. That's a correct point. God has given 10 commandments. And he agreed. Most of the people don't follow any of them. Then how can they say that, we'll break God's law and we'll keep on taking from God? It's like a boy saying, my papa has sent me to study engineering, but I will not study. I will roam in bike, I will drink, I will smoke. But Papa has to keep on sending me money. Will he keep sending? And he will catch him by the neck and take him to village and tell him, plow the field now. No more education. You are not studying. Better work hard now. So therefore the punishment is kept in this world to reform the living entities, isn't it? So therefore, Sakama Bhaktas like you see here, at least they are counted in Bhaktas. They are not faithless. See, the atheistic people are faithless, but the Sakama Bhaktas are faithful. At least they go to Krishna for asking for some benefits. Prabhupada says, when the Christians used to go to church and sing that song, Oh Lord, hallowed be thy name, give us our daily bread. They would sing in the churches. So one time, in the communist countries, people are going to church in big numbers, because there was a scarcity for bread. So the communists will come in big wagons, bringing large quantity of bun, big bread, loaf, what do you call it? Loaf, bread, big bread one. They would bring, and they would call the Christians outside the church. Hey, come here. Why are you going to pray to God for bread? Is he giving you bread? People would say, no, we are not getting. We are starving. Okay, come here. We will give you bread. They'll open the backside and they will release one packet of bread. They'll give them, people will eat. You see, we are your God. Because you ask us bread, we are giving you. And that God is not giving. So become our followers. And that's how they made followers. Prabhupada said, these gullible fools, they didn't know that they didn't have the brain to ask the people, communists, where did you get the bread from? And did you create it? You are making it from wheat. And wheat is given by God. Maya adhyakshena prakriti. Therefore, Prabhupada's logical argument should be read. God is running the whole nature. They can challenge these communists. Are you making the sun rise in the morning? Are you making the moon rise in the evening? Are you making the crops grow? Are you showering the rains? Are you creating navaratnas in the ocean? Now, which of these things you are doing? Tell me. You are just watching them like a baby. You have no ability to do any of these things. And you are giving me bread. In fact, God gave you bread even to become atheistic. Even without eating His bread, you will be dead. So that knowledge they didn't have to preach to them. So therefore, these astic people sometimes may be faithful to God, but they don't have the guts to defend God or defeat the false arguments. Therefore, unless one comes to the path of pure devotion, he can actually not defend God in the proper sense. So these are Sakama Bhaktas. See here, as I told you, Moksha Kama, Yoga Kama is also accepted in semblance of faith. Here, why? Who are these fellows? They are Jnana Mishra Bhaktas, or Karma Mishra Bhaktas, or Yoga Mishra Bhaktas, like that. Indra is a Karma Mishra Bhakta. Correct, no? Maitreya was a Jnana Mishra Bhakta. Correct, no? Similarly, Vishwamitra was a Yoga Mishra Bhakta. So they are not faithless because the Bhakti Mishra is there. The previous one I told you was faithless. They are Karmi, Jnani, Yogi. They are faithless. But the Mishra comes. In that also there are two types of Mishra. One is Karma Mishra Bhakta. Means, he is mostly Karmi and with little bit of Bhakti is added in that. Similarly, there is a Bhakti Mishra Jnana. Bhakti Mishra Karma, Bhakti Mishra Jnana, Bhakti Mishra Yoga also. And the opposite of this, Karma Mishra. When 90%, for example, Jnana Mishra Bhakti means he is a Jnani, but he is adding pinch of Bhakti to that, to get moksha, like that. Or he is a yogi, he knows that I can't get yogic Shaktis myself. So he depends on the Yogeshwar, Krishna. He adds a pinch of yoga to that, like that. But even if there is a pinch also, still he is considered faithful because he has a semblance of faith. Yeah.
What is wrong with having material desires? Bhukti, Mukti, Siddhi, restlessness.
Leads to restlessness, yeah.
Generally, there are three classes of living entities afflicted with selfish desire. These are the Bhukti Kami, Mukti Kami, and Siddhi Kami. Bhukti Kami refers to those ordinary persons who desire money and everything money can buy. Such a primitive mentality is based on the desire to enjoy money, sex, and social prestige.
Yeah. So, what is wrong with chasing after money, sex, and social prestige, which the whole world is chasing after? Actually, those who are blinded by the glitter and glamour of the illusory energy of the Lord, Maya Shakti of the Lord, they are compared to the moths which enter the fire. The moths feel that the fire is like sunflower, looks very attractive. But when they go into the fire, they get roasted. Similarly, in the material world, lot of alluring objects are kept in this world, arranged by Maya. But when one chases after them, one does not get a happiness. One gets frustration. Nateshu ramate buddha, Krishna says. Yehi samsparshaja bhoga dukkhayone evate adyantavantah kaunteya nateshu ramate buddha. If you read the 7th canto Srimad Bhagavatam, there are some 14 evils that are given which arise from accumulating money. For example, before accumulating money, one hankers for money. After one has accumulated money, one becomes very proud that I have so much money. And when one is very proudly showing off how much money I have to others, one is fearful that others will loot my money. Correct, no? And one is also fearful, one may not only loot my money, they may murder me also. One is fearful of getting murdered also. Like that. And also one is fearful of not only thieves and rogues outside, one is afraid of relatives also. Who may say that you have too much money now, let us buy this, let us buy that. They are afraid of relatives also. And because of having so much money, one doesn't get sleep at night. One gets insomnia. Yes, I arrange a lot of gold biscuits inside the bureau. He is very worried that whether I locked the door. Some people have 88 locks in their house and they have a big chabi kagucha they keep here. But suddenly they feel that somebody has taken it away. Then they check it, it's there only. So they get fear, they get worry, and after the money is actually looted, they get lamentation. Yeah, that I accumulated so much, it's all lost. Like that, there are some 14 items given which arise from money. Also, money produces envy in others also, enmity with others. Brother and brother may be very simple and joyful friendship they may have, but once they grow up and make a lot of money, comparisons come. This fellow is a lakpati, this brother is a crorepati. Then the wife says something in their ears. After that, the enmity comes in the family and they can't live peacefully. They can't, the old charm, old friendliness is gone. Money produces enmity, money produces envy, revengeful thoughts, murder, and all kinds of things come from money. In the same manner, actually, sex life is allowed in the scriptures for a man to get married to a woman and beget children and live peacefully as a devotee of God. That is not prohibited. Dharma viruddho bhuteshu kamasmi. But man is so greedy that he will not be satisfied with one wife. Therefore, Chanakya says, Santoshatreshu kartavyo swadare bhojane dane, he says. 3 things you should be satisfied. Be happy with your wife. Don't look at another man's wife. Or don't look at somebody else. Yeah, that's swadare, he says. Bhojane means be happy with the food cooked at home. Don't eat out in hotels. Because hotel people are not cooking for your welfare, for your health. They will put something in your belly which will pain your stomach. They only want money from you. And swadare bhojane dane, he's saying. Whatever is money is in your pocket, spend only from here. Don't take loan, he says. Don't ask for any money from anybody. The moment you take loan, your anxiety begins from there. How am I going to pay back the loan? And then 3 things he says, you should never be satisfied. Trishu chaivana kartavyo swadhyaya japadanayoho, he says. For study of the scriptures, don't think that, I have read so many books. Don't think like that. Keep on studying more and more, he says. Swadhyaya, japa means similarly chanting also. Don't think I finished 16 rounds. Chant more. If time is there, you can chant more. And dana, giving charity, never fear. Oh, I think I gave little extra charity this Janmashtami. Don't think like that. It has gone to the right person only. Whose pati he is? Lakshmipati. If he glances at you, he can make a lakpati into crorepati or arapati also. So don't don't have lamentation of having given too much to Krishna. Like that he says. So, in this way, why he is saying people who are not satisfied with their own wife, they looked at another woman, their family is shattered to pieces. The peace is gone. Example is Ravana, correct, no? And we can give many more examples for that. Yeah. I was one time thinking, the Soma, he did a blunder which you all know. He became attracted to Brihaspati's wife. So I was thinking, just because his son, Soma's son, Buddha, his name was Buddha. Just because he is son of a great demigod, even after he did that, how did he go unpunished? And that question was always there in my mind. Later on I found out from the scriptures, there are 3 different scriptures which tell pastimes about this. In Bhagavatam also it is there. Buddha. Buddha was a very handsome man. And Brihaspati's wife was also very good looking. So he became attracted and then he did this. So because of that, he was cursed to get one disease. One particular disease like epilepsy kind of one disease also he got. And also the moon was cursed to become smaller and bigger by waxing and waning. That was a curse given to him for his nefarious behavior. That was mentioned there. I read in that. Actually, nobody goes scot-free after indulging in wrong behavior. Like Indra indulged in long behavior with Gautama's wife, and the result was, he became a Sasralochan. Correct, no? So the idea is this kind of money, sex, and social prestige, the bhukti, this produces lot of heat in the head, lot of tension. People on the highest prestige and status in society, they are the people having the maximum anxieties. They always fear that if I go little down in my monetary status, all my relatives will stare at me. They have to prove to the world I am very rich. Therefore, bhukti practically has been seen in this world. People even with great amount of bhukti have never become happy. Hiranyakashipu is called Ekarat. Ekarat means he was a singular king of not the earth. Of what? All the three worlds. He was a Triloka Adhipati. He was not happy. Alexander, at the age of 29, conquered the world. At the age of 32, he died. He was not happy. Hitler killed 10 million Jews, thinking that if I wipe out the Jews, I'll be Yekarat, I'll be singular king. And he committed suicide himself. Show me a happy man who has conquered the whole world and is happy. Show me. So you can never find anybody happy. Ambarish Maharaj is happy because he's devotee. Ambarish Maharaj is happy in all situations because he's a devotee. If one is not a devotee, with all the bhakti, one cannot be happy. I read it.
When a living being becomes frustrated with this hallucination, he takes to the path of speculative philosophy and analytically tries to track down the source of illusion.
Yeah, this Prabhupada also says, when he speaks about the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, he is first the Jivatma tries with his senses to enjoy sense gratification. But the more he tries to enjoy, the more he suffers. There is one verse, famous verse. Bhavoddhava klesha shatahata indriya paribramana kapatantare niyamyata manavame manokyaha padangrishankau dridabhakti bandhane. Very, very beautiful verse. It says, Bhava Udbhava Klesha means in the material existence, Udbhava means to produce. Klesh means suffering. In the material world, when I try to enjoy sense gratification, more and more miseries are produced, he says. When I try to enjoy Dhanam, Janam, Sundarim. And how are these miseries? He says, it's like somebody taking a whip and beating the horse. And my mind is like a horse which is running on the road of sense gratification very fastly. And it's being whipped repeatedly because he's running. He's not supposed to run in that road. He's running. So it's being whipped. Indriya paribramana kapatantre niyamyatam Madhava, he says. Oh Krishna, control my mind. Krishna, please control my senses. Niyamyatam Madhava me manohi. Manohyaha. Hyaha means the horse. How? Twadangri shankau. Shankau means this one, pole. Twadangri shankau means in the pole of your lotus feet, bind my mind with the ropes, so that my mind will not run here and there, like that he's saying. Twadangri shankau, drida bhakti bandhane. And what is that rope? Bhakti, he's saying. With bhakti bhava, let my mind become completely in your lotus feet and not run after sense gratification foolishly. Like that he's saying. So, when one gets frustrated in sense gratification, there are three things that can happen. One may commit suicide, which happens to many rich people also do. You don't find poor people committing suicide. Only very rich people only commit suicide. Or one may try to rise above that sense gratification by coming to jnana, path of jnana, where one may start researching, why my senses are not giving me happiness? Then he may go to some matha, meet some sadhu baba, somebody. People meet many Shushka Vairagya jnanis also. And they develop admiration for the jnanis who just wear one kaupiyan and live in a cave. They develop great admiration. Then they also follow the jnana path. They understand sat and asat, the temporary and the permanent and all those things. That is the second category of mukti kami, they become. Or the third possibility is some people, when they are frustrated or they are suffering, they may go to Krishna. Artho Jignasa Artharthi Jnani. Directly they may go to Krishna without being distracted by mukti, siddhi and all those things. There's another possibility. Therefore, Prabhupada says that first the jiva tries sense gratification in senses platform. When he is repeatedly frustrated, he speculates with the mind, why am I not happy? How I can become happy? What is the definition of happiness? Sometimes Prabhupada says, even a donkey brays philosophy, Prabhupada says. Because he tries to enjoy, he can't enjoy, they speak big philosophy also, people. Like, the grapes is sour and things like that philosophy. So he becomes a jnani, mukti kami he becomes. And then here also he doesn't get happiness. Then he becomes a Siddhikami, and eventually a yogi who meditates on super soul. Then he connects with God and bhakti, like that. Yeah, go ahead.
Such a person is called Muktikami because he desires to negate material illusion and merge into an impersonal spiritual state free from anxiety.
For becoming free from anxiety, how many books he has read, you see, this fellow? Huh? Still he is blinking, what to do? Huh? Yeah.
The Muktikami is also motivated by personal desire, although the desire is somewhat more elevated.
Yeah. Certainly Muktikami is motivated by personal desire for liberation, but he is more superior to Bhuktikami because Bhuktikami is caught up in, materials. Like, he is caught up in small things. It's like perishable, temporary commodities like, buying a big bungalow, buying a big car, having a foreign chance, accumulating a big bank balance. He doesn't know anything beyond that. Attraction to opposite sex. He doesn't know anything beyond that. Whereas this Jnani is intelligent. He knows the difference between body and soul. And he knows that there is something called liberation, moksha. And he thinks that if I go to moksha, if I go to Brahman, I'll be peaceful. So he is superior to Bhuktikami.
Similarly, the Siddhikami or the mystic yogi who desires the spectacular powers of mystic yoga, such as...
Look at this bottom fellow, he's levitating. You're seeing that? He's levitating above the ground by his siddhi. Actually, there are people who have shown such kinds of levitation in a public assembly also. There are people who have done that. Actually, by doing Ashtanga Yoga, Raja Yoga, one can do this. But what will you do by doing this? So just because you can jump some 2 feet above the ground. And many people will clap hands for you, that's all. So if you can jump like this out of this material world back to Godhead, that is very wonderful. But otherwise, simply jumping 2 feet above the ground, again you come back to ground only. Isn't that somebody is walking on water, flying on sky? These things are possible even for Durvasa Muni. Durvasa Muni used to lie in the bank of a river or sometimes in a cave. So he could fly on sky, he could go underwater. When the Sudarshan Chakra was chasing after him, he also tried going inside the oceans, inside the caves. Sudarshan didn't spare him anywhere. At last he had to come and fall at the feet of Ambarish, who was a pure devotee. That pastime clearly shows yogis are not ultimate. Bhaktas are beyond yogis also. Bhaktas are capable of even defeating a yogi. Yeah. Krishna Bhakta Nishkama Atayeva Shanta Bhukti Mukti Siddhi Kami Sakale Ashanta. Yeah.
Translation: because a devotee of Lord Krishna is desireless, he is peaceful. Fruitive workers desire material enjoyment, jnanis desire liberation, and yogis desire material opulence. Therefore, they are all lusty and cannot be peaceful.
This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's conclusion. So, Krishna Bhakta is Nishkama, means he has none of these three desires. He is not having Bhukti Kam or Mukti Kam or Siddhi Kam. Generally in India, if you have a Mukti Kam, you are considered a very exalted soul. In all the organizations I have been before coming to ISKCON, almost in all the organizations we only heard that you should aspire for moksha. Because this material world is a place of suffering, cycle of birth and death. Going beyond cycle of birth and death means that is the ultimate attainment. They didn't teach anything beyond that. Only when we came to Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy, we learned that Bhukti Kam is considered a Pishachi. Bhukti, Mukti, Spriha, Yavat, Pishachi, Iti Vartate. Like that, there is one verse in the Bhakti Samra Sindhu. He says Bhukti and Mukti both are called Pishachi. Why? Ghostly, he says. Why ghost? What is that verse? Pishachi Paile, Mati Channahai. That's the verse, Pishachi Paile Yata Mati Channahai, he says. If a man is haunted by a ghost, he will blabber all kinds of words, correct? No? You've seen people, some people put the hair like this, they do like this, seen that? So Bhukti Kami is compared to that. Bhukti Kami is like a ghost haunted man who speaks, blabbers different things. Run here, get this, get that. Like for example, traditionally in our colleges and schools, there used to be a prayer gathering in the morning, in our times also. So morning you come, there is some shloka recited, they will tell something from Ramayana or Mahabharata, one piece of wisdom you take in the morning and meditate on that in the daytime. And on special days like Janmashtami and other days, there is some festival also, Ram Navami. In the school also we used to have festivals. Of course, they will celebrate festival for Christians and Muslims also. Like Christmas also they will celebrate. For all the religions, there was facility in the school. Now, in big colleges, sometimes I heard in one college they had Ramnami festival. What is the festival? Evening, 11 o'clock, boys, girls are coming together and they have a DJ. They have DJ, big, doom, 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 like that. They're putting the sound and they're all dancing. That's all. You dance and eat and go. There is not even a picture of Lord Rama there, and that's Ramnami. So therefore, Bhakti Kami means is ghost haunted. Correct, no? They think they are getting enjoyment in this. So they are like ghost haunted, he's saying. So comparison is perfect, you see. So in the same manner, chasing after the glitter and glamour of this material world by Rajoguna, passion. You can go and see in the streets of any city. You find big shopping malls. If you go inside a shopping mall, how many thousands of dresses they have? How many thousands of commodities for purchase? So the Bhakti Kamis means they live on bodily platform, wear all type of dresses, eat all types of foods, enjoy life and die, not knowing where they go. Therefore, he is saying that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his teachings, who is sitting and hearing? This is Rupa Goswami in Dashashmedha Ghat. So based on Mahaprabhu's teachings, he wrote this Bhukti, Mukti, Spriha Yavat, Pishachi Vartate. Why Mukti is also considered Pishachi? It's also considered ghost. Why? Because a person foolishly imagines that I am God. That is another type of ghost. One ghost is to think I am the enjoyer. Another ghost is to think I have become God or I will become God. There are big sadhus wearing this dress, saffron dress, telling people that I have not come here to tell you I am God. I have come here to tell all of you are all God. There are fellows like that who are giving big sermons. So their idea is now we are trapped in this body. Once we are liberated, we become purified, we'll merge into God. It's like an aeroplane is flying up, and then it has become merged in the sky. That's their idea. But they don't know it's going to get down another place. So, therefore, all are Ashanta, he says. They're all unhappy. Because none of them is stable state. Bhuktikam is not stable, certainly. Muktikam is also metastable, temporarily stable. And Siddhikami means to show off siddhis and powers to others. He will never be happy. Actually, unless the jiva makes an effort to please Lord Adokshaja, who is not perceivable by mundane senses, his pleasure should become our pleasure. That is the only platform of Yatma Suprasidati. By making effort to please Krishna, for his pleasure we act. That's called Yajño vai Vishnu. If you try to please him, then you become happy. Because you are his part. Part can never become happy by itself. Like a hand can never massage a laddu and become happy. Unless it feeds the belly, then only it can become happy. Same way, Mahaprabhu taught this philosophy. There is no other second way to become happy. By serving the Supreme, you being his part, you become happy. Actually, this is such a simple philosophy. Like we are working for a company. Everybody works hard and brings big profit to company. Then they are also given incentives. Instead of getting 20,000 rupees per month, you get 25,000 now because you brought a big profit to company. Of course, the owner should be a good owner. Otherwise, he will eat all the money himself. So you can trust Krishna. Krishna is a good master. If you work for his pleasure, then you being a part, you will also naturally enjoy. So, yeah.
If one has any personal desire, whether it be material, philosophical, or mystic, he will be Ashanta, or ultimately frustrated, because he will see himself as the central object of satisfaction. This egocentric concept is in itself illusory and therefore ultimately frustrating. On the other hand, Krishna Bhakta Nishkam Ataiva Shanta. A devotee of Lord Krishna is Nishkam. He has no personal desire. His only desire is to please Krishna.
Yeah, his only desire is to please Krishna, wherever he may be. Like you see the sannyasis or the devotees in some city, they are doing Sankirtan. They are making even the Bhuktikamis dance. Sometimes you find some of our brahmacharis across the globe, they go to the college students in the streets. There are so many videos, beautiful videos. So you will find they're making everybody dance. This is one another interesting thing that we can learn. Although somebody may be Bhuktikami, we should not develop hatred for them. Just look at these people, sense gratification, they will go to hell. That is one way of thinking. Another way of thinking is poor fellows. These people don't know anything beyond bhukti, beyond sense gratification. Let us make them dance in the in the Harinam Sankirtan. Let us give them some prasadam. Let the purification begin. Let the connection to Krishna happen. That is that's more sublime outlook. See here, Bhogi and Tyagi are like two extreme ends of the pendulum. Both are frustrating. A Tyagi wants some engagement. In what of engagement he comes back to do Bhog. And the Bhogi is frustrated. So, Prabhupada gives examples. Sometimes an IT fellow works for 5 days a week. The weekend is very frustrated. They may go to Lonavala or they may go to some hill station to chill out. They say that, oh, let us relax, go there. But then after 1 or 2 days, because there is no activity, no computer, immediately they feel hand switching. I want to do something. Again, come back to company again. Again you work. So we do bhog, we get frustrated, we do tyag. And then in tyag also you can't be stable. Then you come back to bhog. This is two extreme ends of the pendulum. So on the other hand, a bhakta means he neither does bhog or tyag, he does bhakta means like you see Prabhupada here, engaged in Krishna service. This is a stable position, mean position, or the center position. This is a stable position, which is bhakti. In the path of bhakti, most important thing is everything belongs to Krishna. That is the consciousness. Whereas the bhogi thinks everything belongs to whom? Me. And tyagi thinks nothing belongs to me. Actually, okay, nothing belongs to you, but to whom does it belong to? Why don't you ask that? So, everything belongs to me and nothing belongs to me. Both are wrong scripts. So, the correct script is everything belongs to Krishna. And everything should be engaged in Krishna's service. Yeah.
Rarest of Shuddha Bhaktas. Rarest among all types of devotees are those who have pure faith in Krishna, Shuddha Bhaktas. Even neophytes in this category, despite being handicapped by reactions to past sins, dwarf all other spiritualists.
Yeah. Which means here you are seeing a simple devotee is worshipping the deity, he may be Kanishthadikari, but even he is considered to be superior to all the Karmi-jnani yogis and all. They all become like dwarfs in front of a Kanishthadikari Bhakta. Like that he is saying. And what to speak of a Shuddha Bhakta? Muktanam api siddhanam narayana parayanaha sudurlabha prashantatma kotishvapi mahamune. He says amongst crores of jnanis and yogis, Bhakta is such a pure devotee is one. Yeah.
This is because their accumulated devotional credits allow them to accept Krishna as the only goal of life. Pure devotees chant and hear about Krishna to perfect their devotion. After achieving perfection, they continue to hear and chant out of love.
Yeah, Prabhupada said, why do we chant Hare Krishna? So that we can eternally chant Hare Krishna. So in the path of Bhakti Yoga, the means and the end are same. Whereas the path of Karmi, people say, now you work hard. Why? So that once money I accumulate, I'll relax. So the means and end are different. Now Jnani also, now you perform tapasya, klesho adhikatarastesham, correct? They perform siddhya tapasya. They dip themselves in Gangotri, chill water. Sometimes they put 5 fires around themselves and all that, isn't it? And then after doing all these things, what is their goal? Now they are suffering now, so that they can become free from suffering. Karmis also now they are suffering by hard work, so that they can become free from suffering by enjoying. Whereas in the path of bhakti, are we suffering now? Little, no suffering. Susukam kartam avyayam. Yeah. Susukam kartam avyayam. He says, what is that verse? Pratyakshaavagamam dharmyam susukam kartam avyayam. And then anandambadi vardhanam pratipadam purna amrita swadhanam. Actually, what we are suffering now is called manashashtani indriyani prakritistani kachati. We suffer only with our ego only. Not bhakti doesn't give suffering. Which gives suffering? Our ego only suffering. Go, ego. Throw the ego away. Then there is no suffering. So how can sugarcane juice be bitter? Our own jaundice gives bitterness. So we should not think bhakti gives pain. Bhakti gives bliss. Yeah. So therefore, in the path of Bhakti Yoga, the means and the end are same.
Srila Prabhupada often said, rareness of Shuddha Bhaktas. Srila Prabhupada often said that he would consider his mission a success if it were to produce one such perfect devotee. In his preface to Bhagavad Gita as it is, he writes, We hope, therefore, that people will derive the greatest benefit by studying Bhagavad Gita as it is, as we have presented it here. And if even one man becomes a pure devotee of the Lord, we shall consider our attempt a success.
Ekashchandra tamohanti nachatara sahasrasha. Prabhupada used to say that. So one full moon is far greater than millions of stars. So full moon is like a pure devotee and stars are like neophytes. You can say that. But Prabhupada produced many moons. So who wrote the book Many Moons? So Giriraj Maharaj wrote many moons, not just one moon.
Srila Prabhupada's presentation style. Srila Prabhupada's presentation of the Bhagavad Gita, indeed of the entire Krishna consciousness movement, is meant to inspire all three, the faithless, the motivated worshippers, and the pure devotees, to become perfect Vaishnavas. Prabhupada followed the instructions given by Narada to Vyasa, instructions prescribed by all Gaudiya Acharyas.
Yeah, for the faithless people, Prabhupada gives morning walks, and also Prabhupada speaks out his conversations and his books like Life Comes from Life, and such kinds of books like we have this Hare Krishna Challenge. So Prabhupada has given, and also there is one book called Illusion and this thing, I think, what do you call it? Beyond Illusion and Doubt. So the Western theologians, philosophy, Prabhupada has smashed all those things very powerfully. So for the faithless people, Prabhupada has given literature which can bring them to faith, isn't it? And then there may be people who are motivated worshippers. For them, the Bhagavad Gita has its commentary and all the books that Prabhupada has given. So Prabhupada's lectures also, they make it crystal clear what is impure worship or motivated worship, what is pure worship. And then Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita can be most relished by those who are looking for pure devotion. Yeah. Below one.
Prabhupada followed the instructions given by Narada to Vyasa, instructions prescribed by all Gaudiya Acharyas.
Yes.
This timeless wisdom encapsulates the complete spectrum of Krishna conscious philosophy into a set of teachings suitable for everyone. Some people neglect these teachings, others respectfully acknowledge them, and still others put them into practice. Of those who apply Prabhupada's teachings, some take them up gradually and others without delay.
Yeah. Like I showed the picture of Bhaktivinoda Thakur giving instruction to Prabhupada. He took the instruction to heart, isn't it? And there were also others who might not have taken it. So, therefore, in our ISKCON temples, all categories of people come. Some people may come and hear the teachings and leave it in another year. Still they will benefit because some Sukriti will be created, Ajna Sukriti. And some will acknowledge that your teachings are wonderful, but I can't follow. It's too high. Some people say that. They may donate money, but they may not chant Hare Krishna. But then there are others who may not only donate money, but they may also chant Hare Krishna and go to the point of initiation also, become more committed.
Srila Prabhupada's presentation style. Srila Prabhupada's teachings are a treasure house of spiritual knowledge, and anyone may plunder this treasure house according to his or her qualification. Whether the plunderers seek moral wisdom, peace of mind, pure devotion, or divine love, all can have their desires fulfilled through his divine grace teachings.
Yes. The beauty of Prabhupada's presentation is, the previous acharyas all have written Sanskrit commentaries, like Vishwanath Thakur, Sridhar Swami, Jiva Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, all of them. But Prabhupada's writings are all available in English. And also the previous acharyas' tikas are all very exhaustive. But Prabhupada has taken out only the important elements from there and given in his purport, along with, understanding the contemporary situation of the world. He has presented it. So all these people can derive benefit from his purports.
Srila Prabhupada has given everything. Srila Prabhupada withholds nothing about the Supreme Absolute Truth. The bulk of his teachings may aim at elevating novices from the bodily to the spiritual concept of life, but a good portion of his instructions guide advanced devotees to ultimate perfection. As explained earlier, sincere devotees can achieve success in Krishna consciousness by applying the teachings for which they are fit.
Sometimes people think that Prabhupada always speaks Dehinosmita, Dehe, Kaumaram, Javanam, Jara. He talks very basic. But those people who say that Prabhupada is always speaking basic, they have only superficially gone through Prabhupada purports. They read in bits and pieces. They take one book, read for 2 pages, throw it. They read second book, third book. His Holiness Gaurav Maharaj says, people who superficially read Prabhupada books are like people who get only fishes on the surface of ocean. But the ocean is called Ratna Garbha. Ratna Garbha means you dive deep, then you will get diamonds. Navaratnas you will get. But in the surface you will get only fishes. Similarly, Prabhupada's purports will look very repetitive for us if you read them superficially. But if you read them deeply, then one will get Navaratna-like realizations.
Srila Prabhupada has given everything. Such practice may include studying the books of previous acharyas or those of Srila Prabhupada's followers, but this reading should be done in light of and in harmony with Srila Prabhupada's teachings, not in opposition to them, and certainly not as an alternative to them.
So 2 points are very important. We should only read Acharya's books, what Prabhupada has told us to read in his purports. And we should not read Acharya's purports as a substitute to reading Prabhupada's books. Those 2 things he's saying,
And devotees should definitely refrain from delving into the higher teachings in Prabhupada's books without having the corresponding qualification. Such efforts are fruitless and they transgress devotional principles.
So in Prabhupada's books also basically saying go from the basic books to more advanced books. Otherwise, sometimes we are speaking Bhagavatam in the temple. Some newcomer may have question about what we spoke. Like we are talking about not worshipping demigods or sometimes and not asking for material desires and things like that. So something is a higher thing he has never heard before, now he is hearing. Then that is why the temple class is kept. So that after the class one can meet the devotees, ask question, this is too high for me to accept. And then that kind of jigyasa, that inquiry helps him to get elevated. Otherwise, while reading, we should give them books fitting their standard.
Srila Prabhupada's sublime presentation of Krishna consciousness centers on the inconceivable potency of chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. His motto is, everyone should chant. Those who do so elevate themselves, be they non-devotees, mixed devotees, or pure devotees.
So holy name is inconceivable, let everybody chant. Even those who don't know who is Krishna, they can chant like hippies. And eventually they came to know Krishna. So in this way, Prabhupada has given both books and the holy name for whom? Is it for only devotees? For all, for everybody.
He also encourages people to seek out the company of Vaishnavas, to hear Srimad Bhagavatam and to worship the deity. For those who cannot go to the temple or who choose not to, Srila Prabhupada has arranged to take Krishna consciousness to them.
Through his books.
He organized book distribution, public Harinam parties, grand festivals, and outreach preaching at homes, schools, and just about everywhere else. Systematic study of Srila Prabhupada books needed for perfection. The more systematically aspirants study Srila Prabhupada's books, the more regularly they worship Krishna. And the more attached they become to the company of devotees, the more perfectly they chant the holy names.
See, if we read Prabhupada's books systematically nicely, then our worship of Krishna will become regular. It will not be occasional. People who once in a while visit temple, they will start visiting regularly. And the study of Prabhupada's books will become Nityam Bhagavad Sevaya. Similarly, and eventually by that what will happen? Once the knowledge awakens, they will become attached to devotees. And then when they love the company of devotees, going with devotees for yatra, attending classes with the devotees and all that, then the chanting will become perfect. He's saying that more perfectly they can chant the holy names.
As their chanting improves from offensive to clearing to offenseless, they advance in Krishna consciousness, tasting ever-increasing spiritual happiness. Who takes up Krishna consciousness and to what degree depends on each person's good fortune. And the good fortune of the people in general depends on the willingness of ISKCON's preachers to follow Srila Prabhupada's order to distribute Krishna consciousness.
See what he has said. That means especially devotees going out on Harinam Sankirtan and going out and distributing Prabhupada's books and starting preaching programs in every housing colony. It's our movement called door-to-door movement. We have to go on door to door in the hostel, door to door in the housing colonies. We have to bat at the door and tell people, Bolo Krishna, Bhajo Krishna. So degree devotees do this, to that degree the good fortune of the suffering souls can be increased. See how beautifully he is mentioning this point, is actually putting responsibility on us. And good luck is not going to fall from the sky, it has to be passed through us. It's coming in the Guru Parampara, so we have to go and reach the good fortune to people.
People should be ushered into the house of devotion and taught to hear, chant, and remember Krishna according to their qualification. This chapter examines the practices appropriate for non-believers who come in contact with Krishna consciousness.
Yeah, you know, ushered? Ushered means what? Sometimes you enter into a cinema theater or some big hall, they take you to a particular seat, they walk you. You've seen that? Please come here. This is your seat number. You sit here. Like the devotees should actually bring people and show them, here are the deities. Here are Prabhupada's books. Here is Prasad. You know, here are our program address. Tell us which area you come from. And take their phone number and then put them in touch. So simply this is all we have to do. If you do this, you are giving them what? Good fortune. Yeah. This chapter?
This chapter examines the practices appropriate for non-believers who come in contact with Krishna consciousness.
Shri Prabhupada ki, your Bhakta Vrinda ki. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
भगवान की जय, सत्यव्रतमणि की जय। नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानम् नमामीश्वरं सत्कुण्डलं गोकुले भजमान यशोदाभियोलुकलब्धवमानम् तरामष्टमात्यन्तगोद्रुमगोप्या यशोदाभियोलुकलब्धवमानम् रामष्टमागन्तगोद्रुपगोप्या हृदन्तमुहुर्नेत्रं युग्नमुजन्तम् कराम्बुजयुग्मेन सातङ्कनेत्रम् युग्नमुजन्तम् भुजयुग्मेन सार्धङ्गनेत्रम् मुहुश्वासकम्पातिरेखान्तकण्ठम् धृतगैवदामोदरं भक्तिवदम् मुहुजातकम्पातिरेखान्तकण्ठम् धृतगैवदामोदरं भक्तिवदम् इति दिक्सलीलाभिरानन्दकुन्दे सघोषं निमजन्तमाख्यापयन्तम् सघोषमाख्यापयन्तम् तदीयेषु तज्ञेषु भक्तिजितत्वं पुनः प्रेमतस्तं शतावृत्तिबन्धे येषु तज्ञेषु भक्तिजितत्वं पुनः वरं देव मोक्षं न मोक्षवदें वा न चान्यरुनेहं वरेषदपीह मोक्षं न मोक्षवदें वा न चान्यरुनेहं वरेषदपीह इदं देव पूर्णात् गोपालबालम् तदा मे मनस्याभिरास्तकि मन्ये इदं देव पूर्णात् गोपालबालम् इदं ते मुखं भोजम् अत्यन्तनीले ऋतं कुण्डले स्निग्धरक्तस्य गोप्यानं ते मुखं मुहुसुम्बितं बिम्बरक्ताधरं मे धनस्य वीरस्तं मालं लक्षलाभे मुहुसुम्बितं बिम्बरक्ताधरं मे धनस्य वीरस्तं मालं नमो देव दामोदरानन्द विष्णु त्रसीन प्रभु दुःखजलभिमग्ना नमो देव दामोदरानन्द विष्णु त्रसीन प्रभु दुःखजलभिमग्ना कृपादृष्टिविष्टातिदीनं बतानु गृहाणि समामज्ञ मेघदशिदुष्य दृष्टिविष्टातिदीनं बतानु गृहाणि समामज्ञ कुबेरात्मजो बद्धमूर्तैव यद्वा तया मुचितो भक्तिभाजकृतौ च कुबेरात्मजो मुचितो भक्तिभाजकृतौ च तथा प्रेम भक्तिं स कामेपयस्य तभक्षे गृहो मे स्थिदामुदरे तापेम कामपयश्च मोक्षे गृहो मे स्थिदामुदरे नमस्ते स्तुदाम्ने सुरब्धितिदाम्ने तदीरुदरायात विश्वस्य दाम्ने नमस्ते स्तुदाम्ने सुरब्धितिदाम्ने तदीरुदरायात विश्वस्य दाम्ने नमो राधिकायै त्वदीयप्रियायै नमो अनन्तलीलायै देवाय तुभ्यं नमो राधिकायै नमो अनन्तलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यं हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Jaya Yashoda Damodara, Yashoda Damodara, Yashoda Damodara, Yashoda Damodara, Yashoda Damodara, Yashoda Damodara, Yashoda Jaya Radha Damodara, Radha Damodara, Radha Damodara, Radhe Radha, Nitai Gaur Haribo, 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 Haribo. श्री राधा दामोदर भगवान की जय, श्री सत्यव्रत मुनि की जय।